The House Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic opened its first hearing on the origins of the virus today.
Last month, the U.S. Department of Energy concluded with low confidence that it was plausible the deadly virus came from a lab leak in China. For more, let's bring in Axios healthcare reporter Victoria Knight. She joins us now from Capitol Hill. Victoria, welcome. What have we learned so far in this hearing about the origins of COVID?
Thanks so much for having me today. So there wasn't a ton of new information today in the hearing. As a reminder, the Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus just started its work at the beginning of this Congress. They've sent out a ton of letters to federal agencies asking for more information, and this is the first time that they had former federal employees come to testify. In that, Dr. Robert Redfield, the former CDC director, did give a tiny bit of new information saying that he was not aware of some of the emails going around between Dr. Fauci and other NIH scientists talking about the origins of COVID-19. But other than that, it was mostly a discussion on COVID origins and what else we should know.
Victoria, federal agencies don't seem to agree on the origins of COVID. What does that say about the validity of these reports, especially given the fact the Chinese government hasn't fully cooperated with investigations into the origin of COVID?
Yeah, that's a great question. As you mentioned at the beginning, the DOE did conclude with low confidence that COVID did come from a lab leak. And then FBI Director Christopher Wray also said on Fox News that he seems most likely that it came from a lab leak as well. And then other federal agencies have said that they think it's most likely came from animal spillover. So, I mean, it's hard to know without having the information declassified what really happened with the origins of COVID. And scientists have agreed that we really just don't have enough information yet to really conclude if it came from a lab or animal spillover. And so until we get information declassified from these federal intelligence agencies, there's not much of a conclusion yet.
In the meantime, Victoria, who else can we expect to see testify before the House panel? And could we hear from Dr. Anthony Fauci?
Yeah, great question. So House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan did come to the hearing and ask very pointed questions about what Dr. Fauci knew, what information he was perhaps withholding. And so I think that was really setting the stage for wanting Dr. Fauci to come testify. I think Jim Jordan is probably going to want that to happen within his own committee, but he did reference that the chairman of the committee, Brad Winstrip, should ask NIH scientists who knew about COVID or who exchanged emails about COVID origins that they should come testify as well. So I think it's very likely that we will be seeing more federal employees or past federal employees come to talk to these committees.
Victoria Knight, thank you.
Thank you.